Alright guys, today I'm doing a review of the Neca creep figure from Creepshow. I'm not sure if this is based off of the movie or the TV show, because you don't really see this guy a whole lot. He comes with several accessories. He has an alternate left hand. In the package it comes with this hand on, the open hand, but it has a closed hand for holding this lantern. You have this skull here, which I actually really love this skull. It's different than the skulls that we get with the Neca Predator figures. Let's see if I get the camera to focus. It's not going to focus, god damn it. It's a little bit bigger. Damn, camera won't focus. There we go. Son of a bitch. There we go. It's a little bit bigger than the skulls we get with the Predators. It doesn't have a bottom jaw or the front teeth. And also the bottom of it has a hole that looks like it could be an alternate head. But I've tried. It doesn't fit on the hole, on the peg for the head, so even if it could fit, it would look weird. But yeah, there's this really interesting skull compared to the other skulls that we get from Neca. The only other skulls we got from Neca are the ones that come with the Predators. And got one right here. You can see they're quite a bit different. I want them both in frame there. Yeah, this one's a lot bigger too, but I hope we get more of these skulls with other figures. It would be like you can have him holding it if you want to. He also comes with this comic book, which is really well detailed too. It's got printing, and probably won't show up on camera, but there's actual words on here. If you had a magnifying glass or really good vision, you could probably read it. Says the finger right there. Now, as you can see here in the picture, right there, it shows the creep wearing a really brown robe, and it shows the same thing on the box, but the robe that he actually wears is on the actual figure is a really tan color, which I don't understand why they went with this color. Even the Toony Terrors creep figure has a brown robe on. But for whatever reason, this figure has a tan, and I really hate the strings that he has on here. These little strings are like a ribbon type material that just like the rest of the robe lays down naturally like it's supposed to, but these here just do whatever they want and they don't look good at all. I'm thinking about cutting them off because they don't look good at all. You know, the prototype figure looked really good, but this one, just, I hate these strings on it, and I want to take those off. This hand here is rubberized, so it's easy to get the lantern out of his hand. And the lantern is really well detailed, too. I actually really love this piece. There's no working light in it. It would have been cool to have a working light in it, but then the cost of the figure probably would have been a little bit more expensive. So I'm not complaining about it not having a light, but it would have been cool to have a light. But I understand why they did include that. So there's accessories. I don't like the way the hair looks on top here. He's going to be wearing the hood, so he won't be seeing that anyways. But the top of the head looks horrible. The way they just glued the hair down, it just doesn't look good. And the hair itself is not very good hair. My copy looks good, the hair. I've seen other copies where the hair is just all over the place, and the type of hair they used is a synthetic nylon type hair, and you can't really pose it. You can a little bit, but not much. It kind of does whatever it wants to do. Fortunately, I got a good copy where it lays down the way it's supposed to be, but I've seen other copies where the hair is just all over the place and looks like a rotting Barbie or something. I want to take the robe off of this guy because he's fully sculpted underneath of this robe, so I'm going to take that off so you can see what he looks like and go over the articulation. Alright, so as you can see, he's fully detailed underneath of the robe. This is not one of those retro cloth figures. He's actually in a smaller scale, like the normal figures from Neca, than the retro figures. If you needed a zombie or a corpse for something, this figure would totally work. Looks like something straight out of The Walking Dead. Like, other than the top of the head, where the hair is glued down looking horrible, the rest of the body looks great. And you could easily use it as a zombie figure for a diorama or whatever you need a zombie figure for. Yeah, just give a good look at the details on this guy. Fully detailed underneath. It's got the ball joint on the head. Like I said, the skull doesn't fit on here. If it had a smaller ball joint, it would fit, but it doesn't. Ball jointed head. Got the, I think it's called a pin and socket shoulders. Double jointed elbows. Hinge at the wrist. It's got a ball joint in the waist. Ball joint at the thighs. Joint the knees. And a joint the ankles. Alright. I'm going to put his robe back. Shit. I'm going to put his robe back on because looking at a naked creep is kind of weirding me out. Alright, so I brought in the Neca retro Ghostface figure to do a comparison to this guy. The ultimate Ghostface would be the ideal figure to compare to this guy. But as of the recording of this video, the ultimate Ghostface hasn't come out yet. So I brought in the retro Ghostface. And the reason why I'm bringing in the retro is because I figured the robe on this guy is going to be not much different than the robe on the ultimate. And I'm bringing them in to compare because they both have a wire in the hood that not only so you can pose the point here, but also pose the frame around the outer part. I don't know what the fuck to call it. Yeah, this figure has the same thing. You can pose the point here at the end however you want. And it has a wire on the outer part. Shit. But yeah, they both have wires in the hood. And it's safe to assume that the ultimate is going to have a wire. The ultimate Ghostface is going to have a wire in the hood. God damn it. It's going to have a wire in the hood as well. So that's why I want to bring this guy out. Fucking stand. There we go. And you can also see that he is not in the retro line, because the Ghostface here is significantly taller than he is. So he's definitely one of the normal 7-inch figure releases. Because I've been seeing some people thinking he's a retro cloth because he has the robe on the outside. There's really no other way to pull off this figure without an actual robe that wouldn't be... I don't know the right word to use. Because we saw the previous release of the Ghostface figures that had the half robe at the bottom and the sculpted on top, and they looked horrible. And then they did a re-release where the bottom part was a rubber material, but you couldn't pose the figure at all. It was a brick. So doing an actual fabric robe is the best way to go with robed figures, because there's no other way to really pull it off without having something that looks really, really off, or something that you can't pose at all other than the arms and the head. So doing the fabric robe is the best way to go with this guy. The material his robe is made of is very different than the Ghostface figure. It's kind of like a burlap material, which is, I'm assuming, is what the actual robe is made out of. I talked about these ribbons here. I really hate the way these ribbons look. I'm probably going to cut them off or maybe replace them with something else, because they just don't sit the way they're supposed to. They just do whatever they want, and they're just too stiff, and you can't pose them. Like, look at that. It looks ridiculous. So I'm going to do something with these. If you're a seamstress, you can make a brand new robe for this guy, because like I said earlier, the color of his robe is much lighter than it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be more of a brown color. So if you're a seamstress, you can make a brand new robe for this guy. Or you can even dye this, because it's such a light color, you could dye this a darker color, which is something I might actually do, is dye this. Get rid of these and dye it a darker color, and I think it would look much better. It doesn't really hold the comic book very well. You have to, like, kind of, like, it just sits in his hand, and you have to have the hand close to his chest and kind of lean it against the chest, or else it'll just fall out of his hand. So that's the best way to display him holding the comic book. He holds the lantern well. This hand was designed to hold the lantern. The hand is a rubberized piece, so it's easy to take it in and out of the hand. Alright, so here he is compared to some other horror icons. As you can see, this is the scale he's supposed to be in. We have the Scream 4 zombie ghost face. You can see what I was talking about with the bottom half of the robe being fabric, how it just doesn't work out at all. We have a part 3 Jason, but I have him displayed with the bloody hockey mask from the Ultimate Versus Jason, because I have a second part 3. We got the, I forgot his name. I think the Crooked Man. Yeah, that's his name, the Crooked Man. Got Leatherface, Pennywise, and Freddy Krueger. Just figured I'd bring out some of the most classic horror icons out there. The Crooked Man isn't really, I guess, a classic, or I guess he maybe is now, but I brought him out here because he's a little bit taller than the other figures, just so you get a good idea of the scale. So here he is compared to these guys. Now I'm going to bring out a couple other figures in this scale that are taller characters so that we can see the size difference. Here he is compared to an Alien and a Predator. These figures are in the same scale that he is, but you can see that they're taller characters, so you can get an idea of the size difference between these guys. We got the Ultimate Big Chap Alien from the first Alien. And then we have the Ultimate Scout Predator from Predator 2. I'm going to be doing a review on him next. I just got him in the mail today. So yeah, that's about it for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this video was useful for you.